Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally new way to think about our dreams. It's a way that has way less to do with secret symbols and a whole lot more to do with the simple physics of your brain.
We've all had those dreams, right? The ones that are super intense, totally bizarre, and leave us wondering, what on earth was that about? Well, what if the meaning isn't hidden at all? This new model we're talking about suggests it's much simpler. Your dreams, they might just be your brain trying to balance its energy bill. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we've got to shift our thinking a little bit. I want you to forget everything you think you know about psychoanalysis, just for a moment. We're actually moving out of the world of psychology and into the world of kinematics. Yeah, the physics of motion and energy. So for the longest time, we've seen dreams as these secret messages, right? Things our subconscious is trying to tell us. But this new idea called the Brain Kinematics Model, or BKM, it just flips that whole concept on its head. It says dreams aren't something to be interpreted, they're the result of a physical process, your brain literally managing its own energy flow. At its core, the model sees your dreaming brain as a self-organizing system. Think about it like water flowing down a hill. It's always going to find the easiest path, the path of least resistance. That's what your brain is doing. It's seeking a state of minimal strain, a kind of equilibrium. And your dreams are just a reflection of that entire process.
Okay, so what is this strain that the brain is so busy trying to manage? Well, the model has a great name for it: residual strain. Think of it like this. You have a long, busy day. When you finally lay down to sleep, your mind is still buzzing, right? There are these ripples of emotions and thoughts still circulating. Well, those leftover traces from everything you didn't quite resolve, that is residual strain. And this strain, it can come from literally anywhere. That argument you had, the stress from a huge project at work, a really tough decision you're trying to make. Heck, it can even be excitement for something that's coming up. All these things carry energy, and that energy needs to be resolved before your mind can really rest and find its balance. So, the brain is sitting there with all this leftover energy. What's it going to do? How does it deal with it? Well, the answer is pretty amazing. It lies in two key properties of our memories: how flexible they are and how they're structured. The first one is called plasticity, and that's just a fancy word for how flexible and, well, reshapeable your memories are. When plasticity is high, your brain can grab different memories and smash them together in new and often really weird ways. This is exactly why your high school math teacher might suddenly be serving you coffee on a spaceship in a dream. Your brain is literally remodeling your memories on the fly. The second property is something called fractality. This is all about the hidden, repeating patterns in how your memories are organized. If you've ever seen a lightning bolt or looked closely at a fern leaf, you've seen a fractal. It's the same basic shape repeating itself at different sizes. Well, guess what? Our memories are structured in a similar way, from a tiny, fleeting thought all the way up to our deepest sense of who we are. And right here, we can see how this all clicks together. Look at our working memory. That's the stuff we're thinking about right now. It has super high energy, or strain, but it's not very structured, right? It's chaotic. On the other end, you have your long-term memory. That's stable. It has low strain, but it has this incredibly deep, complex, fractal structure. Dreaming, then, is basically the journey of converting that high, chaotic energy into that stable, structured state. Okay, I know that was a lot of theory. It sounds pretty abstract. So let's make it real. Let's take this model and apply it to an actual dream, a dream about a missing laptop, and, get this, a suspected spy. So the dream kicks off with that jolt of anxiety I think we can all relate to, right? That feeling of losing a critical tool, something you absolutely need to get your work done. The panic is real. But hang on. From the BKM point of view, this isn't actually about the laptop at all. The laptop is a symbol for a sudden disruption to the dreamer's mind, to their working memory. And that event triggers a massive burst of high-energy residual strain. It's like a shock to the whole system. And this is where the story takes a turn, right? The mind doesn't just go, oh no, my laptop is gone. No, it immediately creates a narrative around it. It introduces paranoia, suspicion, a spy. So what in the world is happening here? Well, that spy is just a placeholder. It's the brain's own self-monitoring system kicking into overdrive. It's creating a story, any story, to try and make sense of the intense emotional energy it's feeling. It's desperately trying to figure out the cause of all this instability. And what this means is that a dream that feels paranoid and scary is actually, get this,
a highly productive process. It's cognitive self-repair. Your brain is restoring itself, it's checking its own systems for weaknesses, and it's even rehearsing how it might deal with feelings of insecurity in the future. How cool is that?
Now, here is where it gets really amazing. This model does more than just describe what's happening. It actually proposes a kind of formula, an equation really, that can help us predict what kind of dream you're going to have based on all these forces at play. And the relationship is actually pretty direct and easy to understand. If you go to bed with a ton of emotional energy, high strain, and your memories are in a very flexible or plastic state, you're probably going to have a turbulent, super emotional dream. But if your strain is low and your memories are more stable and less plastic, you'll likely have a much calmer, more thoughtful conceptual dream. Makes sense, right? So that's the ultimate goal of this whole nightly show. Your brain is basically acting like a master alchemist. It takes the messy, chaotic energy from your day, all that strain, and masterfully converts it into the stable, organized, and meaningful structure of your long-term memory. So, if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this core principle. A dream isn't about secret symbols. It is the physical reflection of your brain's hard work to find balance by turning chaotic emotional energy into stable, beautifully structured memory. So the next time you wake up from one of those really intense, vivid dreams, don't just ask yourself, what did I dream about? I want you to try asking a different question. What unresolved strain was my brain working so hard to balance out last night? You now have a completely new lens for understanding not just the wild stories in your dreams, but the very reason you dream in the first place.